So today our topic is the moon surface. So today our topic is moon surface. The moon is fascinating object for poets and storytellers. But when astronaut landed on the moon, they found that moon surface is dusty and barren. So how the moon surface is? So it is very fascinating object. It is very attractive object for the poets as well as for the storytellers. So for the storytellers as well as for the poets, it is very interesting object. But when astronaut go on the moon, what he finds that the surface of the moon is very dusty. So surface of the moon is very dusty. So it has very dusty. It has various dirt on the moon surface. There are many craters of different size. इसके ऊपर बहुत सारे गड्ढे हैं and it has dusty and barren surface. And it also contains high mountains. Suppose, for example, Mount Everest, the size of Mount Everest, it contains high mountains. Some of these are as high as the highest mountain on the earth. So, which is highest mountain on the earth? Mount Everest. So, it also contains the size of Mount Everest on the surface of the moon. मून के सरफेस पे माउंट एवरेस्ट के बराबर जो माउंटेन्स हैं, it contains and also it contains dusty and barren surface. So you have to remember what the surface of the moon is: dusty and barren. Dusty and barren. And it contains mountains. So it also contains mountain. And it also contains the highest mountain on the earth. So next is the moon has no atmosphere. As we know, earth has atmosphere, but moon has no atmosphere. So it has no atmosphere. So you have to remember it has no atmosphere. And it also has no water. So it also has no water. Can any life exist on the moon? If moon has no atmosphere, means no air. So it has no air. So is the life is possible without water, without air? No. So life is not possible on the moon because it has no atmosphere and it has no water. So life on the moon is not possible. Can we hear any sound on the moon? So can we hear can we hear any sound on the moon? If a person, suppose this is a person, talks on the moon, so this sound is not hearable. So this sound is not hearable because it has no air. And sound needs a medium to travel. Sound को चलने के लिए एक मीडियम की जरूरत होती है. और because मून के सरफेस पे हमारा कोई भी एयर नहीं है, तो हम जो बोलते हैं उसको सुनाई नहीं देता. We learned in chapter number 13, sound cannot travel when there is no medium. So communication is not possible on the moon because it has no medium. because there is no medium. So how we hear any sound on the moon? With the help of wireless communication. We communicate on the moon with the help of wireless communication. So next is, did you know on July 21, 1969, the American astronaut Neil Armstrong landed on the moon for the first time, followed by Edwin Aldrin. So as we know, on 1969, so American astronaut whose name was Neil Armstrong. This is Neil Armstrong. This is our Neil Armstrong who landed on the moon first time. So on what time he was landed? On July 21, 1969. On July 21, 1969. So Neil Armstrong, he landed on the moon for the first time. So this is Neil Armstrong, and he landed on the moon on July 21, 1969. So next, in the previous class, what we have learned about moon, and we are talking about the objects present in the sky. Which is present in the sky? First is moon, and second is stars. So in the previous class, what we have learned about the moon, phases of the moon, surface of the moon, how life is possible on the moon, and next is stars. What other objects do you see in the night sky? So apart from moon, in the night sky, we see stars. So there are so many stars in the sky. Observe carefully on a dark night. So we observe these stars in the dark night and from a place away from a big city. Why we have to place away from big city? Because in big city, there is pollution and in the dark night, we cannot see the sky clear in the big cities. Big cities में हमें नहीं देखना stars को, क्योंकि वहां बिल्कुल क्लियर नाइट नहीं होती, क्योंकि वहां पे पोल्यूशन होता है. हमें कहाँ देखना है? विलेज में जाके हमें डार्क नाइट को देखना है, एंड वी हैव टू ऑब्जर्व स्टार्स. Are all the stars equally bright? So as we know, all stars are equally bright or not? No, they are not equally bright. Some stars are very shining, some stars are less shining. So this is less shining, this is more shining. So some stars are more shining and some are less shining. The sun is also a star. So as we know, sun is also a star. So some stars which are bright and some are less bright. Are they of same color? No. Color of the stars are different. How it is different? Color of the star depends on temperature. So it depends on temperature. Color of the star depends on temperature. How it depends on the temperature? Suppose this is a star and it has high temperature. Suppose this is a star, this has high temperature. So it has blue color. So it has blue color. And next is, suppose this is a star which has less temperature, then this has color white. So this has color white. So सबसे ज्यादा जो टेम्परेचर है उसका ब्लू, उसके बाद व्हाइट, उससे थोड़ा सा लेस टेम्परेचर है, then it is yellow. And then if it has more less than this temperature, then the color is red. So color is red. So you have to remember the color of the star depends on the temperature. If temperature is, suppose this has highest temperature, then color is the color of the star is blue. Then it has less this temperature, then it has color white. If it has then less than this temperature, then its color is yellow. If it has less than this color, then its color is red. So you have to remember the hottest star, the color of the hottest star is blue and the coldest star is red. So you have to remember the size of the color is depends on the temperature. Is the star is equally bright? No. The star which is nearer to the earth, suppose this is earth, this is nearer to the earth, which are bright, and the star which is far away, it is not bright. जो बिल्कुल अर्थ के पास होगा वो ज्यादा ब्राइट होगा, और जितना अर्थ से दूर होगा वो ब्राइट नहीं होगा. So you have to remember they are not equally bright. Why does appear? So you have to remember sun is also a star, but stars are very small. Stars are very small, but sun is very big. So how this is possible? This is also a star. The size is, why size is different? So why this size is different? Which appears bigger? A football placed near you or a football placed at a distance of 100 meters? So you have to answer. Suppose this is our football. Suppose this is our football and it is placed on the, this is earth. This is placed at a distance of 100 meters and one football is placed near the surface of the earth. So which is bigger and which is smaller? The football which is closer to the earth. This is closer to the earth. So this has very large size. So this is large size. If it is far away, then this size of the football becomes less. Size of the football becomes less. जो फुटबॉल बिल्कुल अर्थ के पास होगी वो हमें बड़ी दिखाई देगी, जितनी दूर जाएंगे हम उसका साइज हमें कम दिखाई देगा. So as we know, stars are millions of times farther away from the sun. Suppose this is earth. So this is our sun. This is our sun. So as we know, stars are further away millions of times. suppose this is distance is s, then it is million of time, so it has stars. जितने डिस्टेंस पे हमारा सन है उससे बहुत मिलियन ऑफ टाइम पे हमारे स्टार्स हैं, वो बहुत दूर होते हैं, इस वजह से हमें वो स्मॉल दिखाई देते हैं, और सन हमारे अर्थ के बिल्कुल पास होता है, इस वजह से ये इसका साइज बिग होता है. Why? So answer is clear. So why the size of the sun is big? Because it is close to the earth. Why size of the star is very less? Because it is far away from us. So you have to remember these points. The sun is nearly 150 million kilometers away from the earth. Suppose this is our earth. Suppose this is our earth, and sun is the distance between sun and earth is 150 million. You have to remember 150 million kilometers. So distance is very big. The next nearest star is Alpha Centauri. So suppose this is our earth. The closest star is sun. Closest star is sun. And next closest star is Alpha. This is Alpha Centauri. This is Alpha Centauri. So closest star is sun, then it is Alpha Centauri. So the next nearest star is, सबसे पास जो स्टार होता है हमारा sun. Sun के बाद जो nearest star है Alpha Centauri. And what is the distance from the earth? So you have to remember this is a very last distance from the earth. Can you read this distance in kilometers? No. We cannot read distance in kilometer because it contains many zeros. So some stars are even further away. So Alpha Centauri is very closest, and some stars which are very far away from Alpha Centauri. So if we cannot measure these distance in kilometer, you have to write in another unit that are called light year. हम जो stars के बीच की distance और sun के बीच की distance को हम किलोमीटर में नहीं लेते, हम इसके लिए एक और unit use करते हैं, that is called light year. So long distance are measured in light year. And what do you mean by light year? Suppose this is light. Suppose this is our light. This is earth. So it is a distance traveled by light in 1 year. एक ईयर में जितनी भी लाइट अर्थ तक जो है डिस्टेंस जितना ट्रेवल करेगी, इट इज द डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल बाय लाइट इन 1 ईयर. So it is the distance traveled by what do you mean by light year? It is the distance traveled by light in 1 year. So what is the speed of light? 3 multiplied by 10 raised to 8 meter per second. So what is the speed of light? 3 multiplied by 10 raised to power 8 meter per second. And what is the distance of the sun from the earth? Suppose this is our earth, and next is this is our sun. Suppose this is our sun. So you have to calculate the distance of the sun from the earth. So which is 8 light minutes, which is 8 light minutes. And the distance of Alpha Centauri, suppose in the atmosphere Alpha Centauri is present. This is Alpha Centauri, Alpha Centauri. So what is the distance of Alpha Centauri is? This is 4.3 light years. So this is in minute and this is in years, which is very large. So this distance is very large. सन के और अर्थ के बीच की डिस्टेंस कितनी है? 8 लाइट मिनट्स. और स्टार और अर्थ के बीच की डिस्टेंस कितनी है? 4. स्टार और अर्थ के बीच की डिस्टेंस है 4.3 लाइट ईयर्स. ईयर्स, दिस इज इन ईयर्स, विच इज वेरी बिग. So this is very big. So now Paheli asks, if light from the stars takes years to reach us, I wonder if we are looking into the past when we are stars. Suppose this is our Earth and this is our Sun and this is Alpha Centauri. This is Alpha Centauri. And how much time it takes? 4.3 light years. यहाँ से जो stars की light यहाँ तक आने में कितना time लगता है? Our distance it takes 4.3 light years. Means after 4 years the light will come. After 4 years the light of the star come. जो हमें रात को स्टार्स दिखते हैं, जो वो लाइट है वो 4 years पहले जो स्टार थे उसने जो लाइट दी थी वो हमें दिखाई देती है. जो हमें रात को स्टार दिखते हैं वो उसकी उस टाइम की लाइट नहीं होती, वो हमें 4 साल पहले जो लाइट जिसने प्रोड्यूस की होती है स्टार ने वो हमें दिखाई देती है. तो पहेली इज सेइंग दैट वी आर इन पास्ट. यस, वी आर इन पास्ट व्हेन वी लुक एट द स्टार्स. तो स्टार जो हमें रात को दिखाई देते हैं, स्टार की हमें वो वाली लाइट नहीं होती, क्योंकि वो स्टार की लाइट पहुंचने में बहुत टाइम लगता है, 4.3 लाइट ईयर्स. सो आफ्टर 4 years the light comes. So we are living in past. So now Bujo is asking one question. I want to know why we not see the stars during the day. So as we know, star we see in the day. So we see star in the day. Yes, we see star in the day, but it is not visible. Why are they visible only at night? Because the light, the intensity of light of the sun is very large as compared to the stars. हमें दिन में क्यों नहीं दिखाई देते स्टार्स? क्योंकि सन की बहुत ज्यादा लाइट होती है और सन की लाइट के आगे स्टार की लाइट बिल्कुल कम हो जाती है, तो इसलिए हमें स्टार दिन में नहीं दिखाई देते क्योंकि सन की जो लाइट बहुत ज्यादा होती है. So we can't see the star. We can't see these at night. So in fact, stars are present in the sky during the daytime also. So we have to know that star, it is present in the sky in the daytime also. But why they are not visible? Because of bright sunlight. Because of bright sunlight, these stars are not visible in daytime. So observe some prominent star or a group of stars in the sky for about 2 hours. Suppose these are stars, so we have to observe these stars in continuity for 2 hours or more. So you have to observe these stars. Do you find any change in the position of the stars? Yes. So we find the change in position of the stars. You will find that stars move from east to west. So how star moves from east to west? So how star moves east to west? So why star it moves east to west? So a star which rises in the east in the evening. So suppose in the evening it rises in the east, and then where it sets in the early morning in the west. जैसे हमारा सन, जिस इसकी सन ये स्टार है, कैसे उगता है? ईस्ट में उगता है, और वेस्ट जो ईस्ट में क्या करता है, हमारा ईस्ट में उगता है, और कहाँ कब छिपता है? वेस्ट में छुपता है। रात को ईस्ट में उगता है और मॉर्निंग में वेस्ट में छुप जाता है। So why do star appear to move east to west? So star move, and in which direction they move? East to west. So they rises in the east. So they rises in the east and they set in the west. So they set in the west. So why star moves from east to west? So we are explaining it with the help of activity 17.4. Stand in the center of big room and start rotating. Suppose this is room and you have to stand in the center. So you have to stand in the center, and in which direction will the objects in the room appear to move? So you have to rotate. अगर हम किसी भी कमरे में अगर हम एक सर्कल बना के मूव करेंगे तो हमें सारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स कैसे नजर आएंगे? इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन. सो ऑब्जेक्ट्स आर मूविंग इन अपोजिट डायरेक्शन. जैसे हम किसी भी कार या बस में ट्रेवल करते हैं तो हमें बाहर से जो हम तो आगे जा रहे होते हैं और पेड़ कहाँ जा रहे होते हैं? पीछे. तो बिल्कुल अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में मूवमेंट होती है जिस डायरेक्शन में हम मूव कर रहे होते हैं. So Paheli recalls that she is in moving train. When she was in moving train, Paheli recalls she sees that nearby trees and building where it moves in the backward direction. Suppose we are going in this direction, then the buildings and star move in opposite direction. If the star appears to move from east to west, would it mean that the earth rotates from east to west to east? Yes. Suppose this is our earth, and how does it rotate? West to east. So you have to remember earth rotates from west to east. तो अर्थ हमारी कैसे रोटेट करती है? वेस्ट से ईस्ट. और यहाँ पे जितने भी हमारे ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं, चाहे हमारे सन है, चाहे हमारा स्टार्स हैं, तो हमें कैसे हमें नजर आएंगे? वो हमें इससे अपोजिट डायरेक्शन में मूव करेंगे. जहाँ अर्थ मूव कर रही है, अर्थ कैसे मूव कर रही है? वेस्ट टू ईस्ट. और स्टार या हमारे जो सन है, जितने भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं स्काई में, वो कैसे मूव करते हुए नजर आएंगे? हमारे ईस्ट टू वेस्ट. So this is the reason behind why star move from east to west, because earth move west to east, because earth move west to east. तो अर्थ हमारी वेस्ट से ईस्ट मूव करती है, इसलिए जो हमारे जितने भी ऑब्जेक्ट्स हैं स्काई में, वो कैसे मूव करेंगे? ईस्ट टू वेस्ट, according to this activity. Now I understand why sun rises in the east and set in the west, because earth rotates from west to east. This is the answer of this question. Why sun appears to rise in the east and set in the west? Because earth rotates from west to east on its axis. Now my grandfather told me that there is one star in the sky which does not move at all. As we know, all stars move in the sky from east to west, but one star is in the sky which does not move. That are called pole star. So one star in the sky that does not move, so that star is called pole star. So next is, this is the activity of for the pole star. This is very simple activity. So we are taking an umbrella and then you have to open this umbrella, make about 10 to 15 stars out of white paper. So you have to make these white paper stars and paste one of the star on the central rod of the umbrella. So you have to paste one star at the position of the central rod of the umbrella and others at different placed on different spokes. Different spokes में हमने अलग-अलग हमने यहाँ पे bright यहाँ stars लगा दिए white और एक star हमने लगा दिया center पे. Now rotate the umbrella. So you have to rotate the umbrella and you have to observe these stars. So these star move, this also moves, this also move, this also move, this also move, but the central star does not move. So this is our pole star. So where it is, this star is located at the axis. At the axis, it is located. So if there were a star located where the axis of the rotation of the earth meets in the sky, could these star also be stationary? So you have to remember the pole star does not move. So this is our pole star and where it is located on the axis of the earth. So on the axis of the earth, suppose this is the rotation of the earth and one star does not move. This is called pole star. So this is called pole star. So this is the pole star which is present on the axis. This is axis of the earth. This is axis of the earth and where it is located on the axis of the earth. So it does not move and where is it situated? In the direction of the movement of the earth axis. In the direction of the movement of the earth axis, it is present and it does not move. It does not move. So where pole star lie, it is close to the axis of the rotation of the earth. So you have to remember pole star does not move and where it is located at the axis of the rotation of the earth. So next topic is constellation. This is very interesting topic. Constellation. Look at the sky for some time. So we are observing the sky. This is sky. We have seen that some stars form group. Some stars form group. And these stars give a recognizable shape. और ये जो हमारी स्टार्स है कई बार ग्रुप बना लेते हैं और इसकी बिल्कुल बहुत अच्छी शेप बनती है जिसको हम पहचान सकते हैं किसी ना किसी की शेप के इक्विवेलेंट होते हैं and that are called constellation. So that are constellation. So what do you mean by constellation? The star forming a group and has a recognizable shape. So the group of stars and they have recognizable shape is called constellation. So constellation were advised by ancient people to able to recognize stars in the sky, and the shape of these constellation is similar to the objects around us. So this is equivalent to the objects around us. We can easily identify some constellation in the night sky. So we can also observe these constellation in the night sky. For these, you should know that how a particular constellation look like. So you have to remember what are constellations. So these are the different constellations. So this is our Great Bear. So for, you have to remember, this is Great Bear, this is Orion, this is Cassiopeia, and next is Leo Major. So these are different constellations. So these are group of stars. So these are group of stars and have recognizable shape. So in the summertime, in the early part of the night, around 9 to 10 o'clock at the night, we can see Ursa Major. So we can see in the early part of the night, around 9 to 10 o'clock, we can see Ursa Major. And what is the another name of Ursa Major? Great Bear or Saptarishi. So what is the another name of Ursa Major, Great Bear, and Saptarishi? So there are so many stars in this constellation. It appears like a big ladder or a question mark. So this is a question mark, and this is also a ladle. This is ladle. ये कड़छी की तरह होते हैं. This is the spoon, and this is the road. This is like a ladle. So Ursa Major, what is the another name of Ursa Major?